Hello guys, welcome to Concentrate Academy. In this video, I'm going to show you how to sketch the graph of a quadratic equation. So let's get straight into it. The graph of a quadratic equation is usually parabolic in nature, and in drawing it, there are three things that you would need. The very first one is called the axis of symmetry, which is given by the formula x equals minus b over 2a. So axis of symmetry, x minus b over 2a. Now remember, our quadratic equation is of the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So this is where the a and the b and the c come from. Now you need a turning point, which is y. So turning point y, which is given by the formula minus into brackets b squared minus 4ac divided by 4a. Now, to be able to know whether your turning point is at a maximum value or at a minimum value, you check the value for a. So if a is greater than 0 or positive, because any number greater than 0 is positive, your y occurs at a minimum point. So y occurs at a minimum point. If your a is less than 0, your y occurs at a maximum point. A less than 0, now the third thing that you need are two random points, and these points just help you to be able to draw the parabola for it to look nice. So this particular one is better explained when we take some examples. So let's just take some examples. Example 1. F of x equals 2x squared minus 3x plus 5. You first start by writing down your a, your b, and your c values. So a is 2, b is -3, and c is 5. The very first thing we are going to find out is our axis of symmetry. So our axis of symmetry x is equal to minus b out of 2a, which is minus b is -3 divided by 2a. A is 2. So we have negative times negative, negative gives you positive. 3 out of 4. This can be written as 0.75. So I'll be going to use my calculator here because some of the values are points and all. So we said our turning point y. So our turning point y equals minus into brackets b squared minus 4ac divided by 4a. So we insert our values and it gives us minus b squared is minus 3 squared. Always try to write everything in full just so that you do not miss some values and some signs. AC all divided by 4a. So this further gives us minus 3 squared is 9, minus 3 squared is 9, minus 4 times 2, 8, 8 times 5 is 40, divided by 4 times 2 is 8. So we have 9 minus 40 minus 31 divided by 8. And our final answer is 31 divided by 8. So we have our x, which is 0.75, and we have our y, which is 31 out of 8, which is the same as 3.875. So then, let's draw our axis of symmetry. So we have our random. This isn't drawn to scale. So let's just mark 0.75 as maybe somewhere here. 0.75 as our axis of symmetry. So this divides our parabola into 2 equal halves. And our turning point y equals 3.875. So let's just say here is 3.875. So we are almost there. We are left with one last thing. We need to know whether our parabola is at a maximum point or a minimum point. Now, we check for the coefficient of a, which is greater than 0. So our parabola is going to occur at a minimum point. And the minimum point means it's going to be the turning point y is going to look like this. And since here is the turning point, you can see that if you were supposed to graph it, here will be the minimum. That's the essence of knowing. This just helps you to know when you are making a mistake with the kind of graph that you are producing for the parabola. So for the third one, let's just make a small table. So let's make a small table. Let's call here our x and here f of x. So usually I try to pick 2 points to the left and 2 points to the right with the same interval. So in all, you have 5 points because this one itself is part, which is going to be in the middle. Because 2 points to the left, 2 points to the right. So I've decided to use an interval of 0.25. So 0.25 to the left will be 0.5. Then another 0.25 will be 0.25. 0.25 to the right will be 1.0. And another 0.25 will be 1.25. So now we have x. Now to find f of x, you simply place the values into the quadratic equation, which we have initially here, which is 2x squared minus 3x plus 5. So let me just rewrite it. So f of x is equal to 2x squared minus 3x plus 5. So let's just insert 0.75 and let's see what it gives us. It gives us 31 out of 8, the same value for y that we found here, which is 3.875. And just a word of caution, remember we just inserted our axis of symmetry x into this formula, which has given us the exact same value for y. So just in case you forget the formula for this turning point y, which is the minus into bracket b squared minus 4ac divided by 4a, if you are able to determine the axis of symmetry, which is x, just put the value into the function and whatever you get is your y. That is the reason why when we put this 0.75 into this equation, we had this answer, the same 0.3.875 over here. So then let's mark. So that's already marked. Now let's now substitute our x with 0.5. So 0.5 gives you a value 4. So now let's mark that on our graph. So if x is 0.5, f of x is 4. So let's just call this 0.5. So 0.5, then 4. So this is 1 point. The turning point itself is part. Then we substitute 0.25 into the equation and solve for that one as well. And that gives us 4.375. 4.375. So let's just call this 0.25. Let's just call this 4.375. So the intersecting point, and then we draw. So this is just the first half. Now remember we said that the axis of symmetry divides the parabola into two equal halves. What it means is that whatever that is on the left side of the parabola is the same thing as what's on the right side, basically like a mirror. Hence, if you pick this point, the very first point, which is 0.5, whatever value it gives is the same value that the immediate interval to your right would give. So this value of 1, when you set it in, is supposed to give you 4. So to make this video short, I'm not going to do it. But when you insert 1 into it, you are going to get 4. So we mark it over here, which is 1.0. It gives us 4. Then 1.25 gives us 4.375. Then you draw. Example 2. Minus 3x squared minus x plus 4 is equal to f of x. This is our question. So the first thing we are going to find out is our axis of symmetry, which is x. A equals minus 3, B equals minus 1, and C equals 4. Our axis of symmetry x equals minus b out of 2a, which is minus 1 out of 2 times minus 3. This gives us 1 out of minus 6, which is minus 1 out of 6. And now, to be able to find y, all you need to do is to insert your axis of symmetry into the function and just solve for it. So solving for it gives us y equal to 4.08. So now let's try to draw our axis of symmetry and the turning point. So we have minus 1 out of 6, minus 1 out of 6, and we have, let's see, 4.08, 4.08. So this is our turning point. And remember, A is negative, which means that our turning point is at a maximum value, which means the parabola is going to look something like this. Because here is the turning point. And when you sketch the graph, no matter where it is, this point is higher than any point that is below. Looking at the y component, this turning point is higher. So your parabola is supposed to look like this after you draw it. If it is not looking like this, then you know that you have made a mistake. Then you correct it. So let's go back. So we are going to write our function on the next slide. F of x equals minus 3x squared minus x minus 4. So we are almost halfway through. We have our y equals 4.08 and we have our x given minus 1 out of 6. So we draw our small table over here to get like 5. So x, f of x, 1, 2, 3, 4. And place our axis of symmetry in the middle. Minus 1 out of 6, 4.08. So just like in the first example, we pick 2 points on the left hand side and 2 points on the right hand side at the same interval. So what I'm just going to do is to add 1 out of 6 to all the numbers on my right side and subtract 1 out of 6 from all the numbers on my left side. So over here is going to be 0 out of 6, and here is going to be 1 out of 6, and here is going to be minus 2 out of 6, and here is going to be minus 3 out of 6. When you insert minus 2 out of 6 into the quadratic equation, it gives you 4. So we plot minus 2 out of 6 and it gives you 4. So let's see, this is 4. Then minus 3 out of 6. Minus 3 out of 6 gives you 3.75. So 3.75, let's see, 3.75. Let's see, 3.75 is here. Now, as this is not drawn to scale, usually your parabola will look something like this. So remember once again that this is your axis of symmetry. So whatever is on the left hand side is mirrored on the right hand side. Hence, when you pick your point to the right, which is 0 out of 6, which is 0, practically this point, it's the same value for the immediate one on the left is the same value for the one on the right of the axis of symmetry. So for 0 out of 6, you have the same value, which is 4. So 0 out of 6 is 0, so 0, 4. So we mark this point, and it's the same 4 over here. So this was. And for 1 out of 6, it will be the same as 3.75. Let's just see, 1 out of 6 is here, and 3.75 is here. So we draw a parabola. There. Forgive my drawing. This is definitely not drawn to scale. You will have a better representation when when you draw to scale with our turning point over here, you can see immediately what I said. This helps you to know that you are on track. And that's the final answer. Try the following examples and let me know your answers in the comment section. If you like this video, kindly leave me a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that anytime I release a new video, you'll be notified. I love you very much and I'll see you again in my next tutorial. Bye bye.